All right, what's going on, people? You know who it is. It's the Bad Nigga Truth Podcast, and we are back. And you know who I am. I'm your favorite cousin.
Hey, it's your girl Pixie.
That's your boy, Mr. Sturdypot.
Yes, and we are here today with a special guest. Let me give y'all some rundown before I tell y'all who she is. She graduated with a bachelor's in science and a social work degree. And if I get it wrong, let me know, okay?
No problem.
All right. So she had her bachelor's in 2013. 2015, she got her master's with a clinical concentration in children and family. She's also a member of the Delta Sigma Theta.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Sorry.
Shout out your squad.
She's also an author, has written 2 books, The Art of Just Being Me and Free Thyself, and was recently featured on TV One for My Man, A Deadly Teenage Mistake.
Yes.
And what else? Okay, so she's a psychotherapist, confidence coach, Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
Reiki master, a teacher practitioner, life skills workshop facilitator, and works with the youth. So I want everyone to give it up for Mylira Green. Did I say it right?
Yes,
All right, that's what's up.
Educated and melanated.
Yes.
All right, so how you doing? Glad to have you here. How you been?
I'm glad to be here. I am literally in the space where, when you let go, you realize that's when life happens.
Okay.
And that is where I'm at right now. So y'all ask me, am I going to be open? I got you.
That's what's up. That's what we like to hear, because we'll get all in your business. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get all in your business.
I guess start it off.
I guess the first thing, let's talk about the books, The Art of Being Me.
Yes.
And so how does someone begin to master the art of being themselves?
One, you got to realize that the real truth is you are just the only you there is. Everybody else is taken. So your journey is not going to look like no one else's. That includes your parents. That includes your best friends. That includes all of that. So when you understand that your journey is your own, you give yourself permission to get out of line and walk for yourself. And then once you do that, now it's like, okay, well, what is my strengths? What is my weaknesses? Because then if I know my strengths, then I can flow in it. And then when I acknowledge my weaknesses, that's where relationships come in at. Because you can't do this by yourself. If you think you can, it's not going to work.
Oh, say that one more again.
You cannot do this life by yourself.
Absolutely.
If you think you can, then it's definitely not going to work. So once you really do that and you hone in and not be ashamed of your story, like I'm going to get a little bit into my story as we go on, but people think they know me, but you don't know what brought me to this space, but I'm not ashamed of that at all. I'm a psychotherapist with a history. I'm a psychotherapist that went to therapy. Like, it's okay. So that's really what the Art of Just Being Me was birthed out of, because when I saw my daughter's face, she's a rainbow baby, I lost 2 before her, I said, I got to do something different for her. If it wasn't for anybody else, it was for her. So,
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Like, bring your mic up.
What? They can't hear me?
Can't really hear you for real.
All right, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you were.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Hey, yo, I'm sweating a little bit. Y'all don't mind the church
It's
napkin.
It's the light.
Oh, man. And so, and then also with your second book, Free Yourselves, Free Thyself, excuse me. How does someone free themselves from the grips of, I guess, I read that you had like some kind of sexual assault thing happen. How does someone free themselves from something like that, or just free themselves altogether?
So the Free Thyself is really a guide of healing for individuals that have experienced sexual abuse and assault. But my story didn't just start at my assault. I was exposed to sexual experiences at 3 years old. It went from 3 to 13. I struggled a lot when it came to like my sexuality, and I didn't even know it was a thing. Because back then, you're young, nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you get called gay in 3rd grade. It's like, huh? What you talking about?
Yeah.
So for me, I carried that on, and then I tried to get rid of that image. So then I end up making other wrong decisions that led me to taking on different steps where I was sexually assaulted. And the one thing that I realized was in our our homes, especially in the Black community, we have this, what happens in this house stays in this house.
Absolutely.
Because the people that were traumatizing our children was the pastor that was just finished preaching on the pulpit. It was the uncle that had a good job that now we're able to do certain things. So don't talk about him, because if you take him away, it's going to take away the whole family. Or it was the, hey, we have these experiences, and if anybody know about Black families back in the day when we had dinner, the kids went to go play, and the parents and adults was in the living room. You couldn't be in that. That wasn't a child's place. So guess what? We were playing, but we weren't playing for real.
I got you.
So for me, it was acknowledging that and being able to tell people, like, just like someone who goes to the doctor don't say, yo, tell me I got cancer. You don't just walk in that room and say, I want to walk out with that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with sexual. So I don't care what you had on. I don't care what you did. Like, there was parts of my story that I felt guilty about because I could have stopped it. But when I said no, I said no. So the story behind it and me really sharing with people, like, the way you let go is forgiving yourself. Wayne Dyer says that forgiveness is like a snake that bites you. It's not the snake that kills you. It's the venom that goes in your veins. So when we don't forgive, that unforgiveness is what's in your veins. And that's what's killing you. It's not about the other person. It really is just a choice. So that's really what that book is about, is being able to choose to forgive yourself, choose to forgive the other person, and it's not for them. It's for you, so you can unanchor yourself in misery and really walk forward in freedom.
Absolutely, that's wonderful.
So where can somebody buy your book or find your
On
book?
Amazon. If you go on Amazon and you just type in Mylira Green, both of my books are going to come up. And if you want some copies, if you're in the local area or not, I also have some physical ones as well. So just go to my page, just shoot me an inbox. I got you.
I need mine on the house.
Hey, you guys watching,
I got you.
share this live. We have a very special guest today, and I'm very glad that she could be a part of this. And
Definitely.
Black women, this is for us. This is something that we all need right now with the way the world is going. So share this live, share it. Let's expose what this is today for us, so that we can get the word out and support this young queen in her strive to excellence. This is not just going to be a one-time thing. I plan on getting with her, and we're going to do some other things, and we're going to reach out to the sisters, to our communities, and let's really get this thing going. But we're going to get deep today. So we want you guys to put this out so, you know, people can hear her story and promote her in every way possible, you know, and we're going to do the thing today. So make sure you guys look up there and look at her book and spread the word.
Definitely. Okay. Did you have a question for? If I keep going?
Actually, you can go ahead, and
Okay,
I'm gonna.
And I also this is kind of where I have my John said. Okay. And so with what you said earlier, especially with things that happen in a Black family, why do you think we focus so much on not letting that out? Or especially if something happens to the kids, the parents is like, oh well, whatever, they just kind of brush it off. Why do you think that happens so much?
It's in our history. We were taught to serve. We was not taught to be a family. So then when you have these laws or changes that now you can legally, quote unquote, be a family, we are afraid to go back to not being able to be a family. So if you go back even to slavery times, and if they found out that you were married, they will purposefully rape the male in front of the wife. And then they will sell him off. Or, with the kids, okay, you're not just going to be pregnant with his kid. Once you're done with him, you're going to be pregnant with mine as well. Or if my wife gets pregnant, now you're going to be pregnant so that you can breastfeed her child, not yours. So then you have this mentality of that. And then now we're free. And then we are able to do welfare. And then you had the New Deal that came along that had the no man in a house rule. The no man in a house rule said that if your social worker came and there was any presence of a male in the home, you are not going to have housing. You're not going to have food stamps. You're not going to have any government assistance, because if a man is in the house, he should be able to take care of you. Which also birthed the man that had multiple women, because if I can't stay with my wife and my family, then I need to go stay with her. Because now you're on rotation. So I know the social worker already been over here, so I got 2 weeks before she visit again. So I'm going to go over to old girl house, and now I got my own. You see how it kind
The
of
repetitive
yes.
cycle of
So
toxic.
then you have we're able to have this family. I don't want nothing to threaten that. So it goes back to, well, it happened to me and I ain't say nothing. So if I didn't say nothing, you ain't got to say nothing either. Because we kept going.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. Don't touch it. Oh, granddaddy did that. I'm not hearing it. It is what it is.
Yeah, not my daddy.
Yep, not my daddy.
Yeah.
Or the women got afraid of doing it on their own as well. Because back in the day, if anybody is want to be real, our grandparents got married real early at like 15 years old, and granddaddy already in his 20s and 30s. So you not gonna tell me my husband did something to you because he's all I got. I ain't got nothing else.
Exactly.
So it just kind of perpetuates, and it's this fear of, now I can finally have a family. What you mean this is happening? No, you lying, because that's not true. My man wouldn't do that to you, or my aunt wouldn't do that to you. This person wouldn't do it. So it's just this spirit of, I don't want to talk about it. So then if you tell me it happened, then I'm acting like you the one crazy. But the reality is, no, it happened to me, and I'm afraid to say it happened to me. So you need to shut it up. I'm different. I spoke out. I got a whole book, and I told my family, like, it was like, who's she talking about? I ain't say no name. So if you feel like it was you, hey,
Oh, you
cool.
know it was you.
Yeah,
You
you know, you had to word this one, right?
Yeah.
You had to word this.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
But it's good that you were able to find your platform and speak your truth. A lot of us sometimes live in agony because we never get a chance to actually speak in our truth.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like we got a
Yeah,
caller.
there
Got a call
We
coming
got
in.
a
How
call
we answer
coming
this
in.
live? Yo, what up? Talk to us.
Pop by Virginia Radio.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah, I was just collaborating on what she said.
Okay. So you had a question
At the
or
end of the day, a man can be a man. A man can be a man. A woman can be a woman. And at the end of the day, everybody gonna love each other. If not, you gotta keep going. What up, Theo?
That's true. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Well, we definitely appreciate you calling in, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the real facts.
Okay.
That's going through my life.
All right, what's going on? You want to share the experience with us?
I wanna elaborate.
Okay, go ahead.
Shout out the show. Before you ain't go.
Women gonna be women, man gonna be man. Some people gonna hate it, some people gonna love it. This is ACTO. Yeah, you know me.
All right. That's your people's TLD.
All right, so what's your name? Who's calling in today?
AC.
AC.
Hey, what up, Big? That's my that's my brother.
All right, so we got family on the line.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, you know I'm here.
Hey,
You know I gotta check on you.
yeah. Hey, appreciate you calling in, man. Shout out Bare
But
Nigga
you
2
know you
Podcast.
don't hold my tongue for nothing. I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, no disrespect to your females, but y'all got down to do a little too much a little bit, man.
Uh-oh. We talking about doing too
wow.
much. What happened?
Really strong too now.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
no, we're not taking anything away from the men. We all know that you all are strong.
Strong
But
now.
history plays a lot in how we live today and the mindset and the mentality of the household. Some things we just would like to restructure and reset for the better of our children, for our community. So we're not taking anything away from you guys. We love our black brothers, especially those who are dedicated to their families, those who are dedicated to being providers and
Some not even
protectors.
got them dedicated, but the ones that is, goddamn, we in this building.
I hear you. We're going to shout you out. Absolutely. We appreciate you calling in.
No doubt, AC.
All right, make sure you share this live and support Bare Nigga Truth Podcast and Miss Green here. All right, thanks for calling in.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Already.
All right, you guys. So feel free to call in. The number is 757-964-9367 if you have any questions. We got Mental Health Sunday going on with Miss Mylira Green.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got another one coming
We
in.
want to
Hold
make
on.
sure everybody gets a chance to speak in.
All right.
Yo, it's the Bare Naked Truth Podcast.
How about Virginia? What's up?
Hi, everyone. My name is Raven. I love the Bare Naked Truth podcast. I have a question for Miss Green.
Go ahead, Ray.
What's going on, sweetie?
Do you think that times have changed drastically from the way becoming the male figure and doing what they're supposed to do?
Absolutely. I think that we are in a space now, especially this generation, where we're not afraid to admit that, things were done wrong and I'm okay with doing something different. So there's a lot of men, including my husband, shout out to Willie Green, love you, babe. That has literally taken it upon themselves of, I may have not seen my dad in the home, but I'm gonna be here. Or I may have not seen someone, work their behind off. I'm gonna do that. So I really have seen that there has been a huge increase of people staying family or people stepping up, especially men. That's like, I'll be a father figure or I'll be a big brother. I just think the mentality now is different because we're like, history is not going to continue to repeat itself. So I have seen a lot of men and, women step up as well. Just say, hey, as a couple, we're going to change the image that our children are seeing. We're not going to replicate what the movies are showing. Because if anybody think about a black movie, for real, it's always some type of drama in that relationship. And the family, it starts with that relationship. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people that are changing that narrative. And I am so proud of our community. Because we are speaking out a lot more to say, hey, we can't continue to do what our dad did. We can't continue to do what our uncle did. We need to actually be there for our children. Here's the thing. Family, the definition of family is I got to be present in my children's lives today in order to be in their memories tomorrow. And there's a lot of men right now that's being intentional with creating memories with their kids. And kudos to all the men out there and the women that's allowing the men to be in our, our life. That's a whole nother topic as well, the independent mindset behind women. But yeah.
Okay. That was my only question. Thank you. I love what you're doing, supporting the women here. So y'all have a good day and thank you for answering my question.
Thanks for calling in, Mr. Raven.
All right, y'all keep the calls coming in, man. We definitely appreciate it. All right, and so not even off this. When you said the independent mindset, I want to talk about that real quick. Yes. And so now, with the current wave of things that we're seeing, do you think that more women are subjecting men to only be financially supportive of everything while, they feel they could do what they want? Basically, the only thing I need a man for is to pay all my bills. And that's all you want him for. And, what I'm saying? How do you feel about that?
So, honestly, do you want to take the call first?
Yeah,
I got it in my brain. I got you.
All right. Bad Nigga 2 podcast, powered by Virginia.
Yeah, I'm back.
What's up? Who this?
My brother.
AC, again.
Okay, you got a question for the guest?
Yeah, how y'all feel about the women in kids' life?
How you feel about the woman being in the kid's life?
How do
I keep talking about the man. I keep talking about the man.
Mm-hmm.
I know men that and the kids act every day.
Definitely, and that's much props, man. Like they definitely should be.
So what you got to say about the women?
The women who are not stepping up to their role as mothers.
Got
basically.
it. So here's the thing, and I like to use illustrations. So, and I can only talk from a female perspective because that's who I am. So when I wake up in the morning, I put on my Mylira hat. I'm up, okay? 5 o'clock, I'm up. Now I'm about to work out. So I put my healthy Mylira hat on. Mind you, didn't take the other hat off yet. After I finish working out, now I'm putting wife hat on because now I got to get my husband up for he to get ready for work. Now I put mommy hat on because now I got to get my kids up. Okay, after mommy hat, I'm going to put my, and I'm saying it fast so you can see why things kind of happen. Now I put
I'm
my...
going to tell you something slow.
Huh?
How about a single father?
As far as for a single father?
Single father.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Like you asked for her perspective on women in the household. Let her give you that perspective, and then we're gonna get to that because we gotta limit calls to 5 minutes so we can get our.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's okay. We're glad you calling in. We're glad for the interaction today.
So then after I put mommy hat on, now I'm putting worker hat on. Now I go through work. Now I put mommy hat back on. Now at any time I did not take any of those hats off.
Definitely.
So then what happens is by the end of the day, I'm either tilt over or the hat tilt over by itself. And what's happening is there's a lot of women that we have our own goals, and you put your own goals on top of it because now we can actually pursue goals that we once couldn't do before.
Absolutely.
But then guess what? Now we're tired. So then you have a lot of women including myself, because I recently had to change my schedule because I got burnt out. How can I show up for you when I already showed up for you?
Actually, what he's talking about is
That's understandable. That's
an
understandable.
actual mama not being.
So we're
A
talking
mom
about the
not-
accountability
Yeah, so
of the absent
of the
parent
absent mom.
That's
and a
what
female.
he's
Okay,
saying.
so for an absent female, typically, what I've learned is they get to a point where they're tired of being everything for everybody. And we're in this mentality now, and it honestly is a mentality of women can go and do whatever they want to do. And then some people negate their responsibilities. Life is a balance in that, whether it's a woman or a male. You gotta be able to balance out all the roles that you play. So if there's a female that's not in their child's life, you can't make them be in their child's life because right now she's choosing herself. Is it the right thing? Absolutely not. But guess what? Just because she birthed a kid don't make her a mom.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely. And
Right about that. I say, hand clap to you down, hand clap to you.
Hopefully you got your
accountability is
answer.
everything.
Alright.
All right, big bro, we gotta limit these phone calls, man.
We definitely appreciate you calling in,
Yeah,
man.
thanks a lot. If you got any other
All right,
questions,
all
you can
right. I'll
also.
be calling back in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, tap in on the live.
All right.
So with that being said, I want you to remember what the question was he asked you,
Yes.
but do you agree or disagree that a lot of times our role as parents is a direct reflective of what we viewed as children growing up from our parents?
Absolutely.
Some things you learned in the household and you reciprocate that in your household as a parent. Sometimes you pick and choose the things that you want or you don't want. I'm guessing they have an issue with hearing the live. Can everybody hear us? Can you guys hear us?
Y'all hear us now?
Yo.
But in a sense, you know, you want to
Another call
choose. That's Raven, I think.
coming in. Yeah.
Bare Naked Truth Podcast, powered by Virginia. What's up? What's up?
Hey, Bare Naked Truth Podcast. It's Raven. I'm still tuned in, but your guys' volume went out. We can't hear you guys on the live.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, who's
Definitely.
Oh, is it on the live feed itself, or you didn't hear
On the
any
live itself.
on the live
Who's
itself?
live? Who's live?
Do you know?
Are
which
you
one?
watching the Bare Naked Truth or Powered by Virginia live?
Bare Naked Truth.
Okay, so
All
let's
right,
see.
we're gonna work on that.
All right, we're gonna work on that. For those who are on board with us, we are also on live on Powered by Virginia. So you guys can tune in on that one as well.
Or
So-
just click the link to the radio station.
Or you can click the link to the radio station and you can see us there too.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. So with that being said, you know, as parents, we choose what we liked or didn't like as children, and we try to basically incorporate that into our households. The things that we didn't like growing up that our parents did to us, we choose not to do those things, and we change the narrative with our children. So you agree that that's mostly how you raise your children.
We raise our children based off of experience, but I'm gonna tell you that's like the worst way to raise your kid, because what happens is the thing that you don't want to happen, that's what you're chasing after. So whatever you focus on, that's what's gonna come into your reality. So there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like my dad. And then you end up becoming like your mom, or
That's
you
all
end
you
up
know.
becoming like your dad, because that's what your focus is. So what I tell people is parent from a child's perspective. You know, actually sit down and get to know your kid and what they want. For example, my 4-year-old, you would think she's 40. Her favorite movie right now is Coming to America 2. She went to school and she said sexual chocolate. The grandparents. It said okay. You're fine. The grandparents was like, wait, what did you say? Or the teachers was like, what did you say? But as the mom, I was like, okay, this is kind of what happened, and we set her down and talked to her about, okay, well, why that wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
You know? So it was helpful because, okay, now I'm going to parent from her perspective. She's not saying sexually.
Yeah.
She's just saying it because she heard Eddie Murphy, and now her thing is Eddie Murphy this, Eddie Murphy that, all of that. So it really is being able to sit down and parent from what your kid needs. They're not you. It's even like with my sexual experiences, a lot of my stuff happened at like sleepovers. I gotta now be cognizant that I can't keep my daughter from not going to sleepovers. You know?
Yeah.
So it really takes you to have a step back and ask yourself, why am I parenting this way? Why is this showing up for me? And say, okay, well, I'm going to become the best version of myself. There may be some things in my childhood that I can replicate that are good memories, but me trying not to do the bad memories is going to bring the bad memories into the reality, because that's what my mind is. That's my focus.
Definitely, I agree with that. I know, like, I even had to learn that myself. Like, one time when my son was real young, and you know, he was saying something, and you know, I was at my mom's house. You know, grandma always got to step in, but so I'm at my mom's house, and I'm like, you know, it don't matter what you think at this time. And she was like, nah, actually give him a chance to express himself, say what he feels, and you know, so you'll have a better understanding. And I actually did that, and I noticed there's a difference in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, okay, I can speak to you, and I don't have to worry about you, you know, trying to dad me the whole time. You know, I'm gonna still, you know, be the parent, but you know, as the most part, it's like, okay, well, at least I know I can come to you, talk, and you allow me to say how I feel without getting offended, or you know what I mean. So that's definitely a good thing. So I want to go and let's talk about the butterfly effect.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, I was on your website. I was being nosy. And, you know, and so I understand there's three steps to it, or three processes. You have the metamorphosis effect, the cocoon, experience, the cocoon experience, and the greenhouse effect.
Is it on?
Yes.
Could you briefly describe each one of those stages for us?
Absolutely. So let's talk about the cocoon experience, and then I'll kind of bring you through the other different steps. So
Okay.
most people don't realize that the cocoon is the actual most important stage of your metamorphosis.
Okay.
And the visualization that I can kind of give to you guys is, so there was this lady was out running, and she finally kind of go down her little trail, and she looked over to her right, and there's a butterfly kind of struggling to get out of its cocoon. And she was like, man, you know, poor little butterfly, I wish I could help. I'm going to go ahead and do my run. If I come back tomorrow and you still in there, I got you. Okay, so she come back. He's still struggling. She take it upon herself, opens up the cocoon, and then say, okay, go ahead, fly, little butterfly. She go about her business. She come back the next day, and she finds the butterfly still sitting on the ground. She's like, why you haven't flown away? And he was like, I needed the pressure from that cocoon. So what you just tore, now I'm not be able to fly the rest of my life.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So what the cocoon is for me is doing reiki. Okay. So
yeah, I was about to get into that too.
So reiki is a healing modality that is really based off of energy, and it's energy healing that's based off of like hand placements. So you set the intention. Whatever you're trying to get out of it, that's what you're going to get out of it.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where some people don't know about it, but it really is just for balance for your holistic self. I call it the cocoon experience because it's your choice of what you're trying to heal, not mine.
Okay.
So I'm not even bringing my mental health background, none of that. It is legit. What is the end goal you're trying to do? And let's work on this thing together. And that's why I call it the cocoon, because I'm not going to bust you out. Like, if you ain't ready to fly, cool. But what I am going to do is make this space safe for you. And I'm looking out and I say, hey, okay, there's a danger out here that's going on. I'm keeping you aware. So while you are morphing into what you need to be, I can tell you once you begin to fly, what's out here. It's not, even when I'm a therapist, it's not my role to push you out, because that's traumatizing in itself. It's my role to create this safe place for you to become who you really are and the best you that you is. So that's the cocoon piece of it. The metamorphosis experience really takes people, so I say I'm the bridge between the caterpillar and the butterfly. That is the full, complete picture. That is the where you are right now and where you're trying to go. But recently I had an epiphany, to be honest with you. Okay?
What happened?
My epiphany was, we give a God that created the universe, whichever your God is and whatever the brain is, but it's just an analogy. A God that created everything in 6 days, a 5-year plan.
Okay.
Why? Why are we giving a being that created everything in 6 days a 5-year plan, and then we mad because it took 5 years to get there?
I never thought about that. Now, do you think the 5 years is more pertaining more to that person or
in general? So for example, I used to be a vision board queen.
Okay.
And recently, for my husband,
For people that don't know, what's a vision board queen?
Okay, absolutely. So, oh, I think this turned off.
Did the mic go out?
Okay, hello? There we go. So what a vision board queen is, I was somebody that every single year I planned out 1 to 3 years of what I wanted to accomplish in my life. So that was spiritualize where I want to go, mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, cash flow. What was it that I wanted to accomplish in that time?
Okay.
But I'm like, but God knows the plans He has for me. So why am I making plans when He knows it already? So a lot of us are married to plans that may be blown away if we just sit back and just let go and take our hands off. So what the metamorphosis experience does is it allows for you to tap into yourself and not all the external stuff that we use to check off boxes to say, oh, I accomplished this, so now I made it. No, we're going to talk about, really who you are. What are your strengths? What is your bare naked truth? Like, literally, like, what is that? Like, I need you to get naked with yourself. What's keeping you in bondage? What's keeping you from moving forward? It can't be everybody else's fault. It's you that's not doing it. So that experience of just being able to be raw with themselves, and then also talking about the importance of support and connection. And being able to say, hey, I got this group of people that's around me. So that's kind of the metamorphosis experience. It's really for women to become unstuck and motivated to confidently reach their goals while owning their gifts. So there's a lot of people, especially that's enrolled, that has multiple roles as mom, wives, worker, business owner, everything else. There's so much more that we want to provide this world. We just don't know how to do it. I help you doing that experience. And then the greenhouse effect is with my husband. Marriage is a beautiful thing when you do it right. And because I'm so big on connection, I feel like the greatest connection is marriage. So we really bring everyone together and talk about how to make it last forever, even if you've experienced trauma inside your marriage. And that has been helpful so that you can gain the support that you need, and the support from other people as well, and just giving a platform. Giving a platform to really kind of talk about that.
Okay. All right, and so now when you mentioned about especially checking off boxes and things like that, do you think that when people are setting up their goals, they add extra steps because of the fear of being successful, or actually getting there, or do you feel like they're just putting themselves through a what am I trying to say? They're just trying to take the long route just because,
The truth is, we try to play God. Like, as much as we say all these cliche things, and even if you don't believe in God, because I went through the African spiritual stuff too, so if you believe in the universe, we say all of these manifestation and all that, but we really don't believe it. So when we sit down and we make our goals, we make them as if we're going to go through trials and tribulations.
I got you.
Like, we create backup plans within our main plan. It's nothing bad about it. And I don't want anybody to feel bad. If that's you, I'm type A, so trust me, I get it. I'm a planner, but I am learning that more comes out of it when you legit just let go and live your life. There's so much more freedom in that when you give yourself permission to just show the flip phone up. Like, I'm not... it's nothing, like, there's nothing more that I need to do. I just need to show up. I'm not you're a human being, not a human doer. Tony Jones says that. I do not coin that. But if you are a human being, that means you just be. But what we're doing is we're becoming doers. So the more I do, the more I'm supposed to get from life. And that's not really true.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
Psychotherapist, right?
Yes.
What do you
Well, do I therapize?
Yeah.
Well, he's
I got
about to make up for it.
I
What
got
do you
tongue
therapy?
tied.
Oh, you are fine.
Cause I think they set you beside me for a reason. I feel set up.
Don't feel set up. I'm not gonna therapize you.
I
I
feel set up.
promise.
Especially
That
from
was
him.
a setup.
I feel set up. Putting the psychotherapist beside Mr.
The psycho.
Certified seems
Beside
like
the
a little
psycho.
setup.
I'm just saying.
So I do a lot of work with trauma. Right now, I work with a lot of military that are in limited duty status that are trying to see what's next for them. Have a couple people who's retired, and I have a couple people that is active as well, and I work with their families. I am huge of working with people that have dealt with trauma because I like to show you your past no longer exists anymore.
Okay.
Like,
Matter of fact, I'm
it
glad
only
you
just-
said that too, because that's going to lead me to these next two questions.
No, it's okay.
Hold on, I think he wanted me to
No,
finish his
no,
question.
No, you can go ahead.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. See, that's why he need to talk to you about his trauma. Yeah.
But yeah, so I do a lot with trauma. I really prefer to work with
Can you
individuals.
specify the trauma? Like
Trauma.
Yeah, specify it.
Okay, so trauma is anything that happens that take you off your course. People think a trauma has to be huge, but I like to tell my clients if I ever walk down the steps and I stump my toe, every time I go down that step now, I'm gonna be cognizant of the moment that I stumped my toe. That was a traumatic experience for me. It don't have to be, oh, I went to war and cool, okay? If that was your trauma, that was yours. It doesn't have to be sexual assault. It can be back in the day, your mom would feed your dad first and not you. That could be a trauma. So it's anything that has literally created a new narrative in your life and changed the trajectory of where you're trying to go.
Got you.
Like looking at him every day.
That could be a trauma if you felt that
That's
way.
trauma.
I just poke your eyes out. Fix all that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so, and do you think that childhood trauma can affect people's decisions as they grow up?
You are who you are. Like, I know that sounds very, like, cliche-ish, but you are developed as a child.
Mhm.
So, like, all of your experience, like, the first moment that you were born, that light, kids ain't just crying just because they want to be crying because they came to the earth. That is traumatizing. Because you just spent 9 months in your mom's womb. Like, that's the most traumatic moment of anybody's life is when they enter this earth. And from that moment forward, everything that you experience is like a thumbnail. Like, think about that world traveler that likes to travel, and every time they go somewhere, they put that thumb.
Yeah.
Nip. That's what we're doing in all of our experiences is a thumbnail that you're not going to, your body does not forget that.
I got a question for you. Talking about cliches, because you kept saying cliches.
Mhm.
What about this saying, like, people could sometimes say, such and such happened to you long time ago, you grown now, or years have passed, it's time to get over it. Have you heard that before?
I have, and that's a bunch of
How do you
BS.
feel about that?
It's a bunch of BS.
Or does it pertain to certain situations? Because some things
No,
kind of got to go up.
I would say there's no time limit to people healing. That's the thing. Like, healing is a process. It's not something that you just say, oh, I want to be healed, and then you're healed today. That doesn't happen. So what I tell people when certain moments happen and you say that it's a trauma, you stop aging at that moment. So there's a lot of 30-year-olds that were traumatized at 15. So guess what? Mentally, they're still 15. Because at that moment, your life stopped. There was something that stood you there.
Yeah, that's deep.
So when we tell people, oh, get over it, that happened a long time ago. No. I'm not just going to get over it. But what I do need to do is acknowledge what happened so I can sit down and say, okay, well, what lesson was it? My husband always say, eat the meat and spit out the bones. There's going to be some moments where you're going to get a big old piece of chicken breast and you can devour all of it, or you're going to have a moment, if you know curry goat, most of the time it's more bones than it's meat, you may get a curry goat plate. But you have to understand that everything comes with a lesson. That's how you go forward, is when I sit back and I say, okay, I'm not going to allow for that situation to keep me stuck and stagnant. I want to grow another year older. So I'm going to sit back and really deal with what happened. It's not a get over it, because you don't. You're never going to forget it. I'm not going to forget 16. I'm not going to forget 3. I'm not going to forget any of the stuff that's happened to me. But what I am going to do is decide how it's going to impact me in my now. That's a different way.
Hey, tell the people if they can't hear us on Bare Naked to go to Power by Virginia.
Yeah.
Because people still text me saying they can't.
Well,
I don't get it. I don't know why. Because I can hear it.
He started the live, but the live is actually on my page instead of the Bare Naked Truth page. So that's probably why we weren't seeing any. But I've just opened it up on here now. So
Gotta love technology.
Gotta love technology, but we're gonna push through because
I like the way you break
good
things down. So break this cliche down.
Okay.
You can't cry over spilled milk. I don't even think you can break that one down.
But you can cry over. Look, I was a breastfeeding mama, and I breastfed both my kids. And I remember, because I ain't get a lot, and if anybody breastfed their children, it's a struggle.
I did.
And I had like 6 ounces. I'm just gonna keep going. I had 6 ounces of milk, and I remember that bad boy. I knocked it over. Did I cry? Hell yeah, I cried. Cause I took about 30 minutes to get just the 6 ounces. That wasn't enough anyway for the rest of the week. So honestly, what it is we make up all these cliches so that we don't feel.
Okay.
All this stuff is crap. So that we don't feel nothing. But here's the thing. You got what I call the elephant in the room. Not just because I'm a Delta, but because an elephant, we think of the size of an elephant. That's a part of it. But the elephant has the world's best memory. It forgets nothing from the time that it comes out of its mom's womb to the moment it dies. Mm-hmm. So when we have emotions, we might say, oh, I'll deal with that later. Okay, but the elephant is saying, but I remember. And you keep feeding this elephant. You keep feeding this elephant until eventually it pushes you out of the room and you wonder why everybody got mental health issues and problems and all this other stuff. Is because just because I tell you don't think about it don't mean I didn't think about it.
True.
You really got to deal with these stuff. Like all these cliches need to go away. That's why family is not family anymore. That's why so many people have committed suicide. That's why I legit am like, look, I want to be a celebrity best friend. If there's any celebrities that are listening, I want to work with you. Because here's the thing. I feel for people like Kanye West. Why? Because he gave the world everything. And the moment that he lost his mind, what did? We threw him away.
Absolutely.
Man, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's
cancel
exactly
culture.
That is true.
And
that
we have to stray away from that. We have to put ourselves in a place where we understand that it's necessary for us to support our people mentally on another level. We have to be able to look. I feel like every other race is able to support the necessary, the community effort. It's a united front. You know, I feel like they disagree with each other, but it's behind closed doors. They never really toss each other out to the sharks. You know, that crab mentality. I feel like as a people, we have to do better with that. You know, I feel like he was okay until he had that traumatic experience of losing his mother. And it's a lot of us who have experienced a very traumatic moment in our lives, and it changed us forever.
Yep.
And some of us are fighting through it. Some of us have been brave enough to say, I'm going to go talk to somebody about it. And there are just some of us who just learn how to suppress it. But it's there.
It still is. And it does not, I want you to understand, this stuff does not go away just because you don't want to deal with it. We all get one meat suit. And this meat suit is like a vehicle. You get one, you can't change it. So if anybody go to Food Line, especially in our area, they always got sales. I can't drink soda no more, but I'll use this analogy anyway. You know, if you get your favorite soda, they got to buy one, get one free. So you can grab both of them.
Right.
You ain't got enough room in your car, so you happen to put the soda in the trunk. You drive around, you don't think about it. Let's say your friend tell you they made your favorite meal. You go over there and they say, man, I forgot to get something to drink. Don't worry about it. I went and I got a soda. You go in the house, you open it. What happens? It's going to explode. Mm-hmm. There's so many of us right now that has soda bottles on the inside, and we're not thinking about all the twists and turns and things that's happening in our life. We're ignoring it. And then somewhere down the line, we got to open up this soda bottle, and we think it's just going to come out smooth, but it's not.
I was about to explode.
Good Lord. Ooh, boy.
Deep.
I'm sitting here just listening.
This is what melanated educated looks like, okay?
Yo.
Hey, that's so.
I'm just sitting here like.
Melanated educated
Hey,
looks
usually
like.
I talk.
The
I'm just sitting here like.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we were able to put this together. But I wanted to ask you a question. How do you use, or how do you let me see. I want to word this because I want to make sure everybody, in the case of Black women, how do you feel, in your professional opinion, how do you feel we are surviving as a people, as a gender? I feel like Black women get the least amount of credit. I feel like we are so easily tossed to the side. I feel like we are canceled just for unimaginable, the smallest reasons. Like, the gentleman that called in. It's always a counteract of accountability. Even if we're talking about black men, because let's be honest. I mean, some of us were raised that black men are the head.
Yeah.
The man is the head. As much as we want to focus on the woman, the man is the head. And a lot of us would follow a lot better if we were led in a better direction.
Honestly, I think for me, this is a struggle for me when it comes to like race and things like that. I'm gonna be real. Why? Because I wasn't raised with that. I'm mixed with a lot. So my family, we never talked about it at all. My great-great-grandfather was a slave master. He had his white family, and then he came from the Eastern Shore to be with his black family on the weekend. So we could not talk. It wasn't something that was talked about. But then when I got to Norfolk State, which HBCU, what you mean you don't know nothing about that? I don't know.
Right.
But what I had to realize is the fact we're all trying to find a fit. Like, it is sad because we are probably the only people that don't really have an identity. All other races can stem themselves back somewhere else.
Absolutely.
For us, we can't go back to Africa, and I love my African friends, but y'all be real, y'all don't want us there. Then we can't really be here because
really
it's like, well,
we fit.
What really is African American? What is that? So what we do is, again, we stick labels. Oh, she's resilient. Oh, she's smart, educated, and melanated. Why the heck I gotta say all that? I'm just Mylira.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're having all these definitions and all these things that we're trying to accomplish and do just to say, hey, see me, I'm here.
Absolutely.
But instead, legit, like, you gotta see yourself, sis. Like, life is a mirror. You legit gotta see yourself. If you don't see you, the world's not gonna see you.
Absolutely.
And
Ladies, I hope y'all listening.
Like, there's a lot of us that are waiting for external things to give us our light. We're looking for that selfie glow stick. When you are the glow stick.
Absolutely.
So honestly, when it comes to my black women, I want you guys to hear, like, you gotta know you it, queen. There's nothing else we need to do. We don't need the male there. But we need the male there.
Absolutely.
And we gotta be, it goes back to what we were talking about before, that independent mindset. We cannot do this thing called life by ourselves. That is a mentality that was given because we were tired of people failing us. But people are failing you because you're failing you. Like, if you don't show up for you, if you don't know that you're enough, if you don't know that you got all that in that, like, you're the bag. If you don't know that, you're going to continue to attract people that ain't got no bag to fill, and they want you to fill it, and now you're wondering why you're empty.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to what you just said about, you said that we don't need no man there, but we need a man there.
Yes.
So how would you address women that says things like, I don't need a man for nothing?
Because she's scared. All that is fear.
There we go.
Fear and faith is the same emotions. It literally is. It's just what you do with it. So fear says there's this level of uncertainty. I don't know what the heck is going to happen. So then what I do is I'm going to go ahead and build this prison around me because at least I know that it sucks here. But it sucks here. I already know that.
It's your safe zone.
Yeah, so I'm going to function in fear. I'd rather be me, myself, and I, because if I do happen to let somebody in, it might be good, but there's a small chance it might be bad. And because it's bad already here, I'd rather just stay here. Or we got faith that says, yo, it's some uncertainty there, but I am trusting and believing that where I'm supposed to go is going to be better than this. So I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to open up the jail and I'm going to walk forward. So when it comes to when I say we don't need a man there, but we do, it means you are you all by yourself. You're the whole piece. But that support factor, you need it. It's just like, okay, if I say all of us were cell phones, right? You know you got the outlet. The outlet always has electricity running to it. So whenever you plug something into it, it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
That actual outlet on the wall, that's your creator. That's your source. That's the higher being. Always got something there. You're the cell phone. If you're at 100%, you can have all the apps open that you want. But when that bad boy hit 20%, it started going crazy, right?
Right.
The only way you can recharge yourself is through a charger cord. That's the other people that's in your life.
Right.
If you ain't got no charger cord, you're not gonna be able to plug yourself into that outlet, even if it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be able to have something there to cover those weaknesses because they show up when you're at 20%.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
When everything seems like it's crashing down.
Absolutely.
And so with the safe space,
Yes.
do you think that when people are in that safe space and they see the first sign of something bad and they vacate, do you think that's part of the fear also?
It's part of the fear because here's the thing. It's the, dang, it happened again. I gave it a chance.
Yeah.
And it happened and so I'm hungry.
That's usually me.
Yes.
That's usually me, so I understand.
But and I had the gaseous sleeve, so it's real loud. My stomach real small. But you, it's like I gave this a chance, and it still failed. Okay. If I had that mentality, I would not be where I'm at today. Like, people literally look at my life. Like, I have people that connect to me just by what they see on my profiles. Like, yo, she living up the life. But, yo, I just had to do some stuff to pay my bills. What you mean? Like, you
right.
On the
inside,
yes.
there's some things behind this wall that you guys don't even really know.
Absolutely. So I try to tell people all the time, like, nothing's a failure, it's a lesson. And a lot of the times it's not a denial, it's a delay. Because you gotta allow for things to align the right way. And right now it's not aligned. Like, for example, I'm a therapist now, but the job I work at right now, and they know this, so hey, this is the third time that it came around. The first 2 times it wasn't a good fit. Third time I heard loud in my ear, if you say no this time, this dream ain't gonna come back. So you need to figure it out. So it wasn't a denial, it was a delay because now everything was aligned the way that I needed it to be. I want to own another house. I got one, but they denied me. And I'm like, I'm a whole psychotherapist. What you mean I can't get no house?
Right.
You know?
That psychotherapist part, though.
I'm going to tell you why.
Next to the psycho.
No. So I bring I bring in the psychotherapist part, honestly, though, it's because that's what we do. I can sit here and talk just like a regular black girl, but some of your people ain't gonna hear it unless they hear I'm a psychotherapist.
Right, they won't accept it unless they hear the title.
Correct.
And that's why we get so in depth in these titles because that solidifies the information.
Yep. And most of the time, if y'all didn't put that on y'all flyer, I wouldn't be talking about it. I would just say when I'm working, I want to get a house or whatever, because that's just me. But no, like, legit, I had to learn that because I wanted to buy another house. I wanted to get, like, an office, blah, blah, blah. And they told me, you can't do that. I said, why? That's like, because the way you get paid look like commission. So we need to see a year's worth of blah, 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 blah. But I realized if they would have told me yes, I would have been rushing to get a house because I had a timeline in my mind that I wanted it before Christmas. So then guess what? Whatever house I would have saw, I would have gave myself 2 months. And probably would have picked something worse than where I'm at right now.
And I'm a firm believer on harvest and seasons.
Yes.
We don't always want to accept that things are just meant to be in our season. You have to learn how to clap for other people when it's not your season. You have to learn how to be patient for your own harvest in your season, because what if we go out here and we gain things that we're really not equipped to handle? What do we do with the gift? We destroy it, right?
Absolutely.
We don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to handle it. We don't even know how to care for it. So you have to be aligned, mind, body, and soul, in order to handle and really manage your gift.
Yes.
Or you'll destroy it. You won't be able to use it, you know. So sometimes we don't want to, we rush into things, but we don't even know sometimes, you know. And y'all know how I am. Y'all know I love the Lord. So I'm big on that, you know, because there are some things that happened in my life that I felt like if God had gave it to me beforehand, I would have annihilated it because I wasn't ready.
Facts.
I wasn't ready for it. But when you are patient and obedient, things align the way they need to be, and you live in it, and it's good.
And it's typically better.
Absolutely.
Than what you think. Like, what, for me, I'm now coming back into this side of spirituality. So my husband and I, we went on a 5-year sabbatical journey of just trying different things. We both were ministers and everything, and we completely walked away from it. And I will tell you that being here now, I'm like, God, you was in all of that, man. Like, bro, like, I know you. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. I know you. So, for me, it's my relationship with you, but it was your timing.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else would see, well, for 5 years, she was doing Reiki, she was burning ancestor money, she was doing meditations and all this other stuff, and they say nothing about God. She was talking about the universe and manifestation and numerology, and she was just a heathen. No. If God is the creator of all things, right, I can learn from all things. And I shared it to say this. Our plans are not his plans at all.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that are struggling because they're just like, but I see the person that is out here that's doing dirt, but they got X, Y, and Z. Just because they got X, Y, and Z don't mean they really got riches. It doesn't mean that they really got certain things. So what I will ask a person is, when you're setting these goals up, are you doing it because it's your purpose and your strengths, or are you doing it to chase money? Because money's like a bird. If you go outside, right, and there's a bird, you see it, it's beautiful. By the time you walk up to it, it's going to fly away. But if you stay back and you kind of watch the bird, it's going to sit there about 5 minutes. That's money. All of us out here chasing money, and we wonder why we ain't got none.
So we only got a few minutes left, but before we close today, I know Mike has another question he wants to ask.
One more.
And I do want you to give us a brief description of how it was being featured on TV One for my man. I just thought that was the dopest experience ever for someone,
And there's something that happened in the
for
area,
you to be able to go on that show, and it was based in Norfolk.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about your journey with that and what's to come?
Okay. Well, I was honestly blessed with that. The young lady Latoya Edwards, that's also one of the psychotherapists that was up there. She pulled me and 2 other young ladies that was in this area that were graduates of HBCUs that had their own practice and doing all that, and she gave us the opportunity. So she really helped us. So shout out to her.
Shouts out.
Because without that, I wouldn't even know that was even a thing that I can actually like do. We're gonna do a brief intermission. Hallelujah. But I didn't know that was something I can do. And to be honest with you, we had recorded back in the summertime. So eventually I was just like, okay, it come out when it come out. And then when it did, it happened to come out on my birthday.
Yeah, because I was following your page,
Yes.
and it seemed like you had something that you wanted to share, but you were holding it, and you were trying to wait for the right time.
Girl,
'Cause
it
that's how
was so
TV
hard.
works. They tape it, then they do all the edits on it, and then it airs later on.
And they say you can't say nothing until you get that final email to say that it's about to air. Girl,
Right.
I was sitting on this since last July.
Wow.
But I was blessed because, again, it happened on my birthday, and I was really intentional on this birthday because other birthdays in the past was not so great. But the way it felt, honestly, I just feel like Mylira, like, it's very strange because people always ask, like, hey, you was on TV. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you rich now?
Like,
Right.
$5.
No.
It's a very memorable experience, though. Like, this is what.
It's something that I would want to continue to do. But it's one of those things where it's all about timing as well. And the one thing I'm learning is, instead of focusing on what I don't have, focus on what I do.
Absolutely.
Because to even get in that space, and it doesn't take away from that experience because I'm absolutely blessed from that. I could see myself now, like, on TV. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, girl, you did it,
Right.
you know? And it was exciting, but now it's like, to do the other stuff, now I have to have the revenue to get everything else done and established. And right now, I gotta make sure my family is good.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's one side of it as well, is as you're in the process of making it, don't be afraid to say, like, right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it slow. If other opportunities flow my way, cool. But it's really just, I just want to change the world. Like, I legit want people to know that their life is worth living. I know what it feels like to not want to live anymore. So to be able to have a couple moments where people can hear my voice and they want to keep going, to me, that's what I was built for. So if I have other opportunities like that, I would love it. And if I don't, I can say, hey, here's my link to TV One. You can go and watch that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's surreal. It's kind of like, what do you do with that? That's what everybody's asking. Like, well, I was on TV. I'm like, I know.
Because, you know, that's everybody's like fantasy to be what most people feel like. Once you're on TV, you made it.
And
You know,
that's not
that's
the
not
truth.
always the case, but it's a start.
It is, and I'm honestly, I know God is about to blow my mind And it's to the point now where my vision board, all I had on that was a cell phone. And it says, God has already called you.
That's neat.
That's it. So wherever it is I flow and go, when people hear me on different stuff, the opportunities I'm supposed to be speaking at, the people I'm supposed to be speaking to, that's what's going to come from it. And if money flow, it flow. If it don't, it don't. And I'm blessed either way because I know I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to be empty because I gave in every moment.
Definitely. All right, so I got one last question for you. And my question is, do you think that people should seek more professional help and not just rely on friends, family, and the church to tell them what they may want to hear? Or should they need to hear what, or should they hear what they need to hear?
So I think it could be a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have a support system. I tell people all the time, if you have a support system that always tell you what you're doing wrong, you need to change your support system.
Mm-hmm.
It gotta be some form of balance. Professional help, everybody needs it. You really do. Like, it's one of those things where sometimes you cannot see from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
You can just see from the inside out. So all your stuff that you know is emotion based. You need someone that can really break down, okay, look, the thought that you just had is what led to that feeling, which is why you behave the way that you do. If you want to change how you behave, I need to change how you felt so then we can address those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have someone that can understand that and break that down for you or give you the tools in your toolbox, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. It's like telling a person, or me, I'm not a handyman, nothing. If I got a flat tire and y'all won't hear, I probably will stay out there with a flat tire. So if you gave me the tools, I'm going to be like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? Mm-hmm. And that is what a lot of the outside people do. If you go to a professional, not only are we giving you the tools, but a good one will walk you through how to use those tools. And if you go out and the first professional you see fails, it's like trying on a pair of shoes. I wear between an 8.5 and a 9.5. I got to try these shoes on. So it's going to be some... Shut up. It's gonna be sometimes where you'll find someone that's not a good fit, but honestly, I'm a whole therapist that went to therapy, and I'm planning on going back to therapy because I'm in a new season of my life. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And one last thing on that, a lot of people are afraid of diagnosis. Mm-hmm. Diagnosis is not a label.
Right.
It tells me what treatment to give you. If you had cancer, you're not going to want your doctor just to say they only got hypertension. Why? Because your insurance company is not going to pay for the chemotherapy and everything else that comes with that. Mm-hmm. So when you come to me for your mental health and I say, hey, you got depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, PTSD, schizophrenia, any of the other stuff, I could care less what your diagnosis really is. It just allows for your insurance to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we got to get away from those labels and just allow it to be, now I know what to address and I know what proper tools to give you so that you can live a fulfilled life.
Okay.
Cool.
So
you got something?
You got something to stir the pot?
No,
you ain't stirring the pot today. You don't want to get diagnosed.
You know what?
Don't work.
We could. We got like 2 minutes left. You could go ahead and diagnose me real quick.
Okay. So what are you bringing to the table?
My face.
Next.
Face.
Ugly.
Next. Next. Well, it has.
Nah, but
Well, I was just, is there anything that we missed that you want to tell the viewers, your family, friends, your followers, any information on you, how to get in contact with you? And don't be all in her inbox trying to get some free therapy.
Yes, because I can lose my license.
Right. She's got a code of ethics that she has to follow.
And she's married.
Inbox me, I diagnose you. All y'all crazy.
Right.
She's married. Don't forget that part.
And anything that we can look forward to from the beautiful, talented Miss Green.
One thing I would leave with you guys, especially with the pandemic, thoughts of suicide, I have realized has been on the rise, especially in our young people. And what I want to tell you is that breath that's in your body is so worth living, man. I know being in the path of taking my own life. I know what that looks like. I was 17 and I was just done, tired. And my dad knocked down the door. And I told myself from that moment forward, I was going to be CPR to anybody else's goals. So if you feel like your purpose, your goals, and all of that is done, reach out to me. Because The breath in your body is worth living. We all have lost something due to COVID. I've lost my great grandmother that I didn't really have a relationship with. And my grandma right now has stage 4 cancer that I can't really see like I want to because of COVID. Like, everybody is struggling, but you don't got to do it by yourself. So that's the one thing I want to leave. As far as finding me, Mylira Green on everything, M Green Enterprises LLC. You can get to my website by typing it into Google. Of course, I have my books. Things to look forward to, it's the opportunities. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to be able to use my voice to heal people. So if you have a platform, if you know some celebrities, and I am not shy, I have not because I asked not. I want to work with the Tarajis. I want to work with the Sierra and Russell Wilson. I want to work with people, the Kanyes, so that they can know that just because you're a celebrity don't mean it took away you being a person.
Absolutely.
So that is what I am looking for. People that can connect me with those that need me, not those that just want Mylira because she got titles behind her name. I could give a flip phone about those. What I legit want to do is to be the person that allows for someone to say that their breath is worth it.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
How much does it cost for a session?
You got insurance?
For a session.
I got insurance and money.
So as far as therapy go, I will say I work for a nonprofit called Alicia's Place. You can definitely call that number. I wish I had it on me, but Google Alicia's
you
Place.
guys can Google it.
And I do therapy there. That's where my therapy stuff is. Anything outside of that, I do it from the kindness of my heart because, again, everything license-wise, it's not worth losing my license, so I do that under that piece. But I do have my metamorphosis experience, so I have about 4 ladies that would like to do that. I will create that group again. Right now, I'm to the point where I want God to create these spaces, so that's why I don't have no dates, no time, nothing. Is if you need it, I'll make it happen. If you don't need it, I can flow and be with my family, so that's really what I got.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
This was such a pleasure. I'm glad our people got a chance to, those of you who were tuned in on the Bare Naked Truth podcast, when we went live today, we had some technical issues, but you will be able to find this video through Powered by Virginia. You will be able to find this live video. Portion of it is on my page and also on YouTube. So all of these different platforms, again, once you find Miss Green, you will be able to find this as well. She will be tagged in all of this, her information, and a way to get with her. If you guys want to reach out to her for any networking, please do so. She's looking forward to it, but let's be mindful and support each other with peace and purpose, okay?
Hey, shout out to Power by Virginia 757. Shout out to Loud Seabrook. Building.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in. Please share this live. And we love you, all our supporters and followers.
All right. Y'all be easy. We out.
Your boy, Mrs. 30 Pot.
Hey, your girl Pixie.
Who's your favorite cousin?
Least favorite cousin.
Hater.